Welcome to the Rise Up Network. I'm your host, James Carmody. The Rise Up Network is committed to sharing those stories of servant leaders, those men and women that are out there in the marketplace, in the community, making a difference, rising up, making an impact. We are now about to enter into our 6th year, approaching 300 episodes. And that's because of you, our network, our supporters, our partners that are committed to having a world work for everybody. I have a great servant leader on with us saying this is a special treat. And we're going to share with you guys about a fantastic event that is coming up that we want to shout from the rooftops to get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people and teens and kids and women and girls at this event. So I have, as she calls herself, I absolutely love this, a mindset coach. I think it's the first on the Rise Up Network. I have a mindset coach on with me, Miss Karen Rangel. Karen, welcome to the show.
Hi, James. Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here today and share about my program and, of course, my story that is the main root of everything. And thank you again for having me and creating the space.
Yeah, you're so welcome. You know, the Rise Up Network is really a networking community of like-minded people that want to make the world a better place, want to make the world work for everybody. And we believe in our heart that leadership could be waving to your neighbor, holding a door for a person, you know, going into a building, let alone leading a team, a company, or in your case, a new organization to empower females and women, you know, develop themselves and their confidence, their character, and their leadership. So it's just a privilege for me to be able to have these conversations and share people's stories and leverage the network and the distribution that we have to get these stories out and give people a voice. I want to back up we're going to dive into Y0uthfit2lead, but I want to start just a little bit with your background. You know, where did you grow up? Where did you go to high school? What was your upbringing like? You know, how did we get to where we are today?
I love it. I love it. Okay. So I was born in Monterey, California, small little town up in the Bay. Monterey.
Beautiful area.
Yes, I love it there. Grew up right next to the beach at a Mexican household. My parents were immigrants. They came to the States with literally $10 in their pockets.
Wow.
And yes, and I stayed there up until college, and I went to San Jose State. So my upbringing was, imagine, 6 kids. So I'm the second oldest of 6.
Wow.
I remember when I was growing up, Spanish was my first language. My first grade, I was 5 years old. My parents didn't speak the language, so they couldn't really advocate for me. And I remember my parents, they would make fun of me because I had a little stutter. And nothing like crazy tease, but they're like, you have a cute little stutter. And as I was going to school, I was diagnosed with mental disabilities. So these disabilities carried on. And
right.
As a child,
disabilities.
Now
right.
I call them, I created a whole different name. I call them flexibilities. Because
there you go.
That's not going to stop me from creating where I need to go, because I have big dreams in life, right? So I remember as a child, I was like, I don't know any better, right? My parents don't speak the language, so they couldn't really do anything to support me or find the tools that I need to really educate myself and to cope with these new disabilities that I so have. So what were they? I had learning disabilities. I had dyslexia. My dyslexia is something that I am now owning. My dyslexia, I was in classes with special need kids. And that's how I grew up. But I knew as a child, okay, I'm in this room and I feel like I have so much potential, but I didn't know either how to advocate for myself, right? So here I was, I'm growing up older, and as I'm growing, I'm starting to feel very disempowered with my school. And also I had a huge struggle, number one, because of all the learning disabilities that I had.
All these labels people are putting on you.
Absolutely. I was put on labels on top of labels. So I remember when are like, okay, you have a learning disabilities. All right, now what? Oh, and now you have a speech impediment. Okay, I got it. So I started taking all these therapy classes for my speech. So then they're like, oh, by the way, you also have dyslexia. So there were labels on top of labels and labels. And now I'm in middle school. So I'm feeling like, you know what? forget this. The system doesn't know what they're talking about. I know who I am, and I have big dreams in the world. Well, the bullying starts at school. They start noticing you're a little bit different. They start noticing our classes are being separated. We are in like trailer classes, and the kids, the normal kids, were in the regular classes. So there was a separation there. So I was growing up. Now I'm in high school. And I'm like, oh my God, this fear started tapping into me. And I'm like, okay, I'm so afraid of allowing people to see who I am, because I've been navigating this world trying to pretend something different, trying to be normal and fit in just like the other kids. And that's when I started noticing a self-doubt. I started questioning my capabilities. I started noticing that the school system, there was nothing to empower me, or there was no coaching or no type of tools to really support us and make us see that, hey, it's just, you have a different learning style. Has nothing to do whether you're slow, whether you're not worthy enough, whether you're not capable enough, whether you're not going to be able to mount into anything. I remember there was this time the bell was going to ring, and I was doing so good. And this is junior year now in high school. So for so many years, I was walking around navigating the world with a mask over my face, a mask that I pretended to be something different than actually who I was, actually the person that I looked at every single day in the mirror. I didn't know. I was so disconnected with that person. So I remember this day so crystal clear, because it's something I was working. I became a perfectionist of being so inauthentic of who I was. I remember it was the bell was about to ring. And this is the thing that I was going through every single time. And my heartbeat's just racing so fast. I'm in the front of the door because I'm ready to get out, and as fast as I can, because I don't want anybody to know that I'm coming out of these classes of special needs. So this kid yelled at me. The nightmare finally came true. And the kid yelled at me. He looked at me. He said, "Hey, Karen, I just seen you running out of those retarded kid classes. I see you. You're retarded. You're a retarded kid." And I looked at him with like frightened, but then at the same time, I'm like, get out of it, Karen. You can't make this guy believe that this is who you are. So acted cool, be cool. And I said, you know what? No, that's not, you're silly. I'm a TA. But when I said that, it hit me to the core. I walked away in the corner and I just started bawling. I said, Karen, I started talking to myself. I said, Karen, what's wrong with you? You're ashamed. This is not who you are. Who are you? And to backpedal a little bit, I noticed that sports was the reason that made me feel that I had something within me that was very powerful. That's where I gained my unstoppable powers, that I felt, I got this, I can do it. And it was really sports that supported me through all of this and made me confident. So the junior year when that happened, because I played track, soccer, cross country, that's where I felt, okay, I got something, and coaches see a potential within me. The school doesn't see it, but I am good at something. And that's something I've always trying to look for. I was trying to look for someone that sees something in me, because obviously the teachers didn't see it. And maybe they did see it, but they didn't say anything about it, because once you're in the system, you're in the system. And I felt like you kind of are forgotten, right? So when that kid did that, I am blessed that he did that. Because what happened to me, I went to the counselor that day and I said, you know what? Hey, I am hearing in my team, in my soccer team, that girls are going into college. They're applying into scholarships. They're submitting applications. What's going on? How come I didn't know this? He looks in the system and he said, well, Karen, you've been a special need all your life. I'm like, what does that mean? I have big dreams. I have big goals. At the time, I felt a lawyer was going to make a huge difference in the world. So I was like, I want to be a lawyer. And I know that being in these special need classes is not going to support me. I'm still learning 2 times 2, like the most basic things. I'm not being challenged. Put me in a place that I could challenge myself, because I want to go to college. And he said, you've been in the system for so long, but I'm going to give you another possibility. You can be a teacher's aide, you can be a librarian, or a cafeteria assistant. He gave me all of these jobs. Again, there's nothing wrong with this, because I'm sure you have a roof over your head, and then you have food on the table. But I know that I was meant for something bigger, because I wanted to make a difference, and I wanted to make a difference in my community. And for me, it was to become a lawyer. I went to my dad. I was so angry. I had books in my hands and I slammed them on the table. And I said, oh, I was like, I cannot believe this. There's no way that you're telling me this. I'm meant for something big. So I left. I stormed out and I was crying and I was thinking in my head, is my dad lying to me? Is he telling me that I'm a leader? Because it's something my dad would always say, you're a leader. You can make anything happen. It's all up to here in your mindset, what you believe you're capable. But I'm like, you know what? Parents always say things just to probably make your kids feel good about me, yourself, and all these things. You know what? I'm going to give it to my dad and I want the truth. So I went to my father. I said, Dad, and I'm crying. I said, Dad, please tell me the truth. You told me I could do anything in the world. My counselor just said that I will not mount to become a lawyer because I'm a special need child. Now tell me the truth. And he said, sweetheart, you are meant to be a leader. And what have I said? Leaders make the impossible possible. So here you are presented an opportunity where you can show up and see what you can make out of yourself. And I was thinking, I was like, okay, all right. So at the time I was running campaigns for a mayor. So I kind of knew that the importance of getting ballots and signatures. So I went to my teachers and I said, hey, this is what's happening. I went to my counselor. I have big dreams. Do you think I can get out of this and get tested out? I got signatures from all of them saying yes. I went to a counselor. Absolutely. I went to a counselor and I said, hey, listen, I got signatures. I need to get tested out. I have big dreams. I have big goals. I want to make a difference in the world. And the counselor said, you just don't get it, don't you? I said, listen, I'm going to do this, he said, but do not come back. After you take this test, that's it. I honestly thought like he thinks he doesn't know who he just spoke to. I am unstoppable, right? So I took the test. I was like, give me whatever it takes. Like, I'll go for it. I was taking tutoring after school, before schools, during recess, lunch. I mean, thank God to all of these teachers because they seen something in me too. And a month later, I passed my test. So I passed this test and I'm telling you, I felt I was untouchable. Yes, I only had 3 classes in regular classes and the rest were special ed classes, but that didn't take away from the joy that I had because I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be mounted something here. So this is why I feel like where I noticed my pain that I was going through in school, that I turned it into a purpose when I started doing these programs for teens and youth. Because how many times in the world have we been giving labels? How many times have we been told you're not good enough? You're not going to be able to mount to anything, or labels that they're given to us. We know what we're capable of. And sometimes we question it just because of all these limited beliefs or stories that we have caught on or picked up throughout our way of life. So I felt that it was my responsibility to make a difference in my community and make a difference in these kids' life. And I noticed as I was getting older, I started questioning this little story of mine, but I didn't know where it was all coming from. But I was noticing I was quitting on jobs, on beautiful opportunities that I had. And I kept quitting and quitting. I even said the dream that I wanted was to be a lawyer. And right when I graduated from San Jose State as a communication major and business marketing, I was like, oh, I don't think I can do it. I was working at a law firm at the time as an assistant. And he was like, oh my God, Karen, I don't, is this really what you want to do? And I started questioning it myself because at first I didn't want anybody to know about my learning disabilities, right? I didn't want him to be like, you know what? Yeah, because you have dyslexia and you have special needs and learning disabilities, you're not going to be mounted to that. So that's something I stick right here in my core. I didn't tell anybody about that. That's something that I looked at as a shame. But guess what? That was not something to be ashamed because those things that people say disabilities, they were capabilities because I had to figure out different ways of how to navigate, right? To make things happen. And this is why I feel like this type of work and bringing personal development and leadership and fitness and movement is very important. Why? Because as a child, I felt confident and unstoppable through sports, right? And then if I focus on my mental health, then wow, I'm really creating the vision of the life that I want for myself. The way I see myself is the way I see the world around me. So I knew I had to start working within me with my mindset. So I started doing the work. Why is it that I'm always quitting? Where is this fear coming from? Where is this fear saying that you're not good enough? You're not smart enough? Why all this shame, Karen? And always me coaching myself. Growing up, I was always trying to seek some type of mentorship, coaching, anything to support me. But I didn't find it, but I was going into clubs like, leadership classes for teens, the YWCA, which is for like advocating for abuse, women in abuse, and all of these things, because that's what I wanted as a child. So here I am designing a program like this. But in order for me to create this, I had to do the work. I have to heal myself. So I went in and I did a leadership personal development program. It's called Choice Center in Las Vegas. And that's what I noticed, all these limited beliefs, all these patterns that were not serving me to reach my potential. These patterns and beliefs that I had were the reasons why that were holding me back from reaching my potential. And it was once until a trainer said, hey, Karen, when are you going to let go this belief? A paper that said you have these disabilities. You're very capable of making things happen. When are you going to give away that power to this and know that you have everything that it takes within? Lead with your heart and you will make things happen. And that was like, poof. I'm like, oh,
All you needed to hear.
That's all I needed to hear. I needed that. So here I am bringing this program where I want kids to see their potential. I want kids to see you have the fire within you. It's time to ignite it. Don't let the voices, the people outside, these things that we all want to put things in boxes to hold us back to what we are fully capable of. This is it.
100%. What I hear is such a victory and a triumph over the past. Having these labels put on you as a young kid. When we're young, we don't have much control, and having labels put on you, special needs, mental challenges, mental disabilities, you're going to take these classes. You're 10, 12 years old, and then it perpetuates to junior high and high school. You just don't know any better. So you do as you're told, and you don't want to be a troublemaker, but there's that thought like, this isn't me. I have big dreams. I have big goals. I want to make an impact. And you keep that alive, and you didn't succumb to this. And there were different milestones along the way that I heard that continued to pour gas on your fire. And you really stood your ground and said, I want to make a difference.
Absolutely.
And you've done the work with yourself. It's clear that you've done the work for yourself around mental health, character development, releasing old past-based stories that don't serve you, and realizing that moment to moment in the present moment, you've got a choice of who you're going to be at any given time. And you can create yourself as this powerful, confident woman that's there to make a difference. So, wow, like, you're amazing. So you start Youth Fit to Lead. Like, tell us about the organization. What's up? What's going on?
Yeah. So Youth Fit to Lead, like I said, I gained my confidence through sports, right? Through that, I felt like I built teamwork, resiliency, commitment. And these are all the traits that it takes to be a powerful leader.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So in our workshops, we include this component of fitness to make sure that youth is always energized and ready to go. So with these workshops that I designed, we implement emotional intelligence. We want kids to know that their full potential. What is it that they're capable of? But we also want to know what is it about them that they feel that it's holding them back, right? So if we're able to spotlight that, then they're able to see, okay, what is it? What are the tools that I need? So we teach them all the tools that they need in order to tap into that. So whenever there is fear in life, hey, they have the toolbox. All they got to do is reach into them and now implement that.
Yep.
So with Youth Fit to Lead, yes, we brought fitness because I know that movement is everything. I mean, physical inactivity is one of the number 4 leading of death. It's not even cigarettes anymore. It's us not moving. right?
Yeah.
So, and our kids are suffering. They were suffering before and now suffering more than ever due to the pandemic. So not only that, think about it, social media. Social media is something that kids are always looking up to. It's like even us adults, we're constantly in it. It's like a new the drug, right? So 24/7, we're on social media. We are on our phones. We are now creating a world that we're so disconnected. So how can I bring it back and bring Youth Fit to Lead and bring these workshops where we're unifying kids, we're bringing them together. They're noticing and they're discovering all of these powerful things that they have in them, their gifts, their gifts. And how can they inspire other children and youth so that they can also elevate one another? How can we come together and play team? How can we rise? Like your whole organization that you have.
Rise up. And how do we create we, not me? You know, it's a you, it's a you and I world, a both and world, not a you versus me, you know. So share a little bit, Karen, you know, like what's the age range of the girls that go through the program? What's their experience like, and who are you looking for?
Absolutely. So Glowing Within, it's an all-girl workshop. This one specifically.
It's called Glowing Within.
Yeah, Glowing Within.
In first place, you guys, if you're watching this, you're listening to this, you want to put this in your phone or write it down. But the website, the URL is Y0uthfit2lead, and that's the number 2. So it's youth, Y-O-U-T-H, fit, F-I-T, the number 2, L-E-A-D.com. That's also the handle on Instagram. So check it out on Instagram and the website. And then they go to the website, then where are we going? We're going to workshops, and then where are we going?
Yes, we're going on workshops. There's also one-on-one coaching. So if you want to, and you want a one-on-one coach, and we do different activities with them. We go hiking, we do activities at the beach. Again, it's all fitness. So because I coach, I create and design activities, and I'm able to coach through that. So I come up with games, and within the games, the kids are able to play. They're like, oh, this is fun. This is amazing. But through that, I'm able to coach them and see how they're playing the game is the way they play the game in life. The way they show up at school, the way they show up with their peers, the way they show up with their friends, with their parents. So this is a way for them to be in the experience and see, oh my God, this is also how I show up in other areas in my life. So with this whole Glowing Within workshop, it's about sisterhood. It's a one-day workshop on August the 7th, and it's for teenage girls to experience what it means for them to fully own who they are, not only in the outside, but in the inside.
Wow. So this workshop, so folks, so it's August 7th.
Yes.
Okay, so August 7th, and it's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yes, 10 a.m.
Specifically for teenage girls, teenage young women.
13 to 18.
13 to 18, okay.
Yes, and in this workshop, this is a workshop where girls get to really own who they are, accept all parts of them. Because when we don't own who we are, then guess what? Then we don't fully accept the person that we were meant to be. So we need to love ourselves so that we can love others, and we can shine. When we are able to shine within, then we allow other girls and inspire other ones to also shine. And together, when we unify, we illuminate the world. It's creating a sisterhood. How can we bring our gifts and elevate one another? Because we all have beautiful gifts. So instead of putting each other down, because that's what happens in school. There's all this bullying and girls not being kind and nice to one another. I went through it and it was horrible. And there's so much pain through that. And I don't want the girls to grow up feeling that they have to be disconnected from other women because they can't trust them. So how about building these girls now so that they can have a community where they get to inspire one another and use their voice, and whatever pain they're going through in life, that they get to also turn it into purpose, just like I did. So I'm just giving them Youth Fit to Lead. It's just the platform for them to come on in. When they do these workshops, they're always willing. They're always welcome. The girls love it. They come back and they coach it.
I love it. I mean, Karen, you are a rock star. Like, your selflessness and your passion, your commitment to empowering women is incredible. You know, folks, if I'm listening to this, you know, I'm a parent. I have 2 young boys. But if you're a parent, you're listening to this, and you have a daughter, or maybe you don't have kids, but you have a niece, or you have a coworker with teenage girls. You're going to want to check this out. You know, I mean, I'm looking back, I'm like, shoot, I wish this was around for me as I was an awkward, chubby young boy, like late physically developed. Like I didn't have anything like this, but you seriously, you want to check this out. You know, it's August 7th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it's a workshop specifically for girls aged 13 to 18. I can't think of a better way for them to spend a Saturday afternoon than really developing confidence, loving themselves, networking, bringing things together so that they can shine and rise up and make it a better place. I mean,
Absolutely.
Karen, gosh, I could talk to you for like hours and hours and hours. So, you know, as we're beginning to wrap up here, we want everybody to go to the website, right? Go to the website, share it, text it, like get it out there. It's Y0uthfit2lead. That's Y0uthfit, the number 2, lead.com. The event's August 7th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Anything else, Karen, that you'd like to share with this network, kind of some parting words and maybe some action items for us?
Yes, absolutely. For those that don't know, ADU Geeks has sponsored 20 powerful leaders, teenage girls, to workshop. We're creating urgency here. And this is a full ride scholarship. I would love to see even girls that can't afford this opportunity. This is an opportunity to enroll. We have 20 spots for this specific scholarship and it ends this Saturday. So hurry up, get these girls enrolled. And this is a way, you know what? It takes a team, it takes a village to make a difference. And I can't do this alone. So I need my community, everybody to spread the word and follow us on social media, on Instagram, Y0uthfit2lead. And you know what, James, what you mentioned, you have boys. We are also building a teen leadership workshop for boys too, and girls. I'm telling you, this is the movement. We're going to make a difference. And it starts with healing ourselves and using our story and turning it into a very powerful purpose. So thank you so much again, James. You're incredible. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on and sharing your story. You know, welcome to the Rise Up Network. You have the full support of the network behind you, fully supporting Y0uthfit2lead. So excited to get your story out, get your message out, share this there, get girls there to make a difference for themselves and the community on August 7th. Folks, this was such an honor and a blessing to have this conversation with Karen. Like, she is clearly a servant leader and a perfect match for what the Rise Up Network is all about. Get out there, get into Instagram, follow them, share it, Y0uthfit2lead, check out the website, share this with the parents, the coworkers, the friends, the family, your neighbors, and get some people at that event on August 7th, all right? We have a responsibility to rise up and serve one another. That's why God put us here, right? We're meant to do life together and to serve. Thank you for being in the Rise Up Network. Get out there and rise up.